Episode 129 of You Know How to Find Music. You just go to the Find Music channel on YouTube now. It's no longer named after me. The channel is now called Find Music. I thought
Cool.
that'd make it easier to find music instead of
Nice.
looking for my name.
We'll make a
And
note
of
of it.
course, on Facebook, we're already there, a group Find Music public group. You can join us, share your musical discoveries just like we're doing here, and even throw in some memes, as long as it's music, it can go up. Okay, on that happy note, Jim, what you got for us today, sir?
Okay, today we're coming way off the wall today. And I don't know which I'll bet you one or both of you has heard of Martin Denny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Martin Denny,
sure.
the older I get, the more I like the broader the variety of music that is I think is worth listening to. When I was like 20, 21, working at the college radio stations, I knew everything in those days. And so I could tell you what was good and what was not, what was cool, what was hot, that kind of thing. And the older I get, the more stupid I was in those days. I mean, I'm not going to go out and buy a Carpenters album today, okay? But listening to the Carpenters now is a lot different than it was when I was 21, 22, 30 even, I can appreciate the precision, the recording quality, the fidelity. And Martin Denny, I think I first encountered Martin Denny music um, at a New Year's Eve party across the street from where I grew up, where all the adults were imbibing, having a good time. And I heard this music and I went, what the heck is this? It was completely unlike anything I'd ever heard before. Variety of musical instruments, exotic sounds, and I have to say, um, if you're familiar at all with Martin Denny, you know that there are a variety of uh, invented bird calls that are added to the music contributed by members of his band. Well, I know a guy who was a high school freshman at Linwood High School who took that kind of sound effect to heart, and he eventually kind of gave an algebra teacher, Mr. Ball, kind of a hard time when he would burst into these spontaneous bird calls when he turned his back to write on the board. And then eventually, this guy was joined by a bunch of other classmates who were also freshmen in that algebra class, and they called the group. It was an informal collection. We called it the Barnyard Quintet, although there were more than five people in the band, and none of the animal sounds came from barnyards. They're all inspired by Martin Denny. Um, the recording quality uh, is set standards in those days. And I was trying to look up right before we started the show here today. I have heard rumors that Martin Denny recorded a bunch of his music in Hawaii. I know that that's true. And apparently there was some domed arena or environment that was made of aluminum, like in the form of a geodesic dome, and he recorded a bunch of his stuff there. But I haven't verified that yet. Um, I will share a screen with you right now, and this is a virtual playlist, but I gave it kind of a different format today, and I think you'll see why as soon as I bring it up. Okay, can you see that?
That's it.
This is Martin Denny's playlist, or his discography, a list of his studio albums, and then compilation albums. Now I'm going to scroll down. And I just want you to just kind of take this in. And by the way, I call this virtual playlist 1931 because that was the year he was born. Okay, now just check out these titles. I mean, this guy was prolific, and in an interview that I heard with Martin Denny, he discusses how he accumulated this huge variety of musical instruments. I guess people would go to other parts of the world and they would buy an instrument, and then they would send it to him. However, he describes in great detail one guy's attempt to help him add to his collection of music by purchasing a whole bunch of large metal gongs in China, or no, it was in Burma, from a monastery of some sorts. And according to the interview, one of these gongs created some problems in terms of transporting it from venue to venue because That one gong weighed 76 pounds, you know. Um, you hear such a variety of instruments. This is music that's, I think, it's impossible to dislike. You can be an active listener and have that be the focus of your attention, or you can use it like as background music or ambient music. It's just so different. I wanted to talk about Martin Denny today. And if you look at his catalog, you'll see that number one, he was really prolific. I don't know why. He wasn't his music wasn't used as background music for many films or TV shows. I know that there are a few out there, but every time I hear Martin Denny's music, I think of those Elvis Presley movies, Blue Hawaii and Paradise Hawaiian Style. You know, at the time I thought those were the corniest things ever. Rock-a-hula, rock-a-hula. But you know what? That's just fun. And Elvis Presley made like 31 movies in the space of about 13 years, from 1956 to 1969. That guy was busy, you know? And like some of the other music that I used to kind of turn my nose up to, there's a lot to like in that kind of stuff, you know? And not just for nostalgic reasons. It's I think part of it comes out of a real appreciation for the skill that these musicians had. You know, I don't play any musical instruments worth mentioning. I mean, and if you want to learn to appreciate the skill of a musician, try learning how to play an instrument. I mean, I'll never understand how this works. Okay, let's see. Okay, where am I? There we go. Strum, 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 finger, finger, finger. You're doing two different things with two different hands. It's like patting your head and trying to rub your stomach times 10. You know, I don't know if you guys play musical instruments, but over the years, in addition to my taste being broadened, I have a much greater appreciation for the time and the talent that musicians demonstrate and help us put this program together every time we do it. So, in terms of a tagline, Don, I'm going to have to say, if you like Angelo Badalamenti, who did the soundtrack for Twin Peaks, if you like Elvis, if you like Dave Pike, and if you like the Disneyland Jungle Cruise, you're going to love Martin Denny.
Got it.
I would check out the Teriyaki Orchestra. T-I-T-I-K-I Y-A.
Oh, wait. Start over again. Let me write it down. Go ahead.
T-I-K-I-Y-A-K-I Orchestra.
Okay.
They're a modern version of Martin Denny.
Nice. Well, apparently
I think they only have one album out that came out in 20. I'm not sure. I would have to look it up, but I know of that album that came out in 2007.
It's also labeled as he's called the father of exotica, but it's also referred to as lounge music. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard the Devo Lounge album. I wish I had a copy of that, but it's, you know, it's interesting stuff. And I mean, it seems like it transports us into the past in a way.
Yeah.
You know, into a black and white film with you know, all those stars and stuff. Let's kick back a couple of whiskeys, you know.
On that happy note, episode 129 draws to a close. Martin Denny. Check on anything.
Did not own a chain of coffee shops.
By Martin Denny. Okay.